people think real estate investment is always safe until they fall into fraud they never saw coming. Today, we're going to be talking about common real estate scams. My name is Onyinye. I'm the multi-project manager for Mshel Homes Limited. And with me here is
Oluwaseyi Akishule, Company Secretary, Mshel Group Limited.
All right, let's get right into it. Sir, please share with us the common real estate scams you've experienced in your career.
Okay, well, I think if I'm to put my career in perspective, I've come across probably 2 to 3 instances or areas where you tend to see scams happen in respect of real estate transactions. One is, I think the first one that comes to mind is multiple allocation, multiple, maybe where you find situations where there's a parcel of land and there are 2, 3, 4 people having title documents, claiming to have ownership of that land, and that's why you find the court system filled with a lot of cases over, people fighting over title ownership of land, because everybody feels they have one title or the other. Meanwhile, there's probably one legitimate owner and 3 or 4 fake documents that have been flying around, and purported ownership has been transferred through those fake documents. So you find that section 1, subsection 1A of the Advanced Free Fraud and Other Fraud Related Offences Act criminalizes any situation where anybody uses, land transactions, to obtain money, by false pretenses. So it's something that should be kicked against. And as a buyer or a prospective investor, I think it boils down on doing your due diligence in the course of acquiring properties to know, that you're not being scammed. So over the course of my career, I think I can summarize some of these real estate scams, into maybe 2 or 3 areas of perspective. The first one that comes to mind immediately is multiple allocations or multiple claims over one parcel of land or one title. You see situations whereby 4 or 5 people have similar documents over the same,
similar document.
Yes, similar document over the same parcel of land. So you see them having to drag themselves to court, and the court system is filled with cases where 3, 4, 5 people are disputing ownership over one parcel of land.
How does that come by?
Yes, I can even give you an example. I have come across a particular individual. I don't want to mention his name, but he bought a parcel of land. He got title documents from AMAC, and he did what he felt was due diligence, in the sense that he just asked around about the company, and they told him it was a good company, and he just paid him money straight away and got title documents over the land. On the course of him going to sites, to go and see the, and then he found out that there were like 2 or 3 other people that were fighting. As at the time he got to the land, they were fighting over the ownership of the land. And when they all met, and who owns the land? I'm the owner. 4 people were claiming that they were the owners, and they all had documents. So it was obvious that somebody bought that land legitimately, and 3 or 4 other people bought it illegally. They probably didn't do due diligence in getting clarifications on whether those lands were genuine or not. Another area that I've come across, it's prevalent in the real estate space, fake real estate companies.
Fake companies?
Yes, fake real estate companies. They come out there, they have banners, they sell good stories about how they would return investment, how they would make profits for individuals, and people are sold on these fake dreams, and they just give in their money, only to find out that there's nothing realistic about the project that is being proposed to them. There's no land anywhere. There's no waiving approval for, construction, fraud in that regard. And you see people creating bad apples in the real estate space, creating bad names for good companies like, Mshel Homes Limited. Then there's a third one. You see forged documents. It's in line with the first one, but it's a different thing. In that other situation, the first situation I mentioned, people unknowingly key into this illegal documents. But here, there are people who knowingly create fake documents, fake papers to, deceive unsuspecting individuals of their title to that land. They claim they own it. I'm sure you must have heard this land grabbers.
Yes,
So that's what they do. They make fake papers. They go to sites. They build and then use thugs, use force to claim ownership over a land that was not given to them by any regulatory or government agency. So people then key into these estates that they believe to be genuine, only to later find out that they have bought fake land from fake developers with fake and forged title documents. And the law is very, very key. Section 467 of the Criminal Code is very, very key on people on prohibiting the creation of fake documents for transactions like this. At least there's a minimum punishment of 3 years in prison for doing stuff.
Only 3 years?
Well.
Will they refund the money?
Well, let them go to prison first.
No, what about the people that bought the land?
Yes, that's the reason why it's called a scam, because they end up losing their hard-earned money, because somebody deemed it fit to deceive them and rob them of their investment. Yes.
That was really insightful, honestly. And I do have some experiences of my own. Mm-hmm. Yes, I've experienced people being scammed by real estate firms that are established and do have genuine properties.
Like real
documents, real location, real brochures, real staff. Mm-hmm. However, there's no intention of ever delivering this property.
Wow.
So I've seen where this company released different projects. Yes. There was a building project in it. People bought an off-plan project. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to get their houses within 18 months. Maximum 2 years, they're supposed to have their houses. And in 5 years, no house, no money, no refunds, no, nothing. Some people who paid for fully finished houses were given basic shell. Yes, they had to source more funds to complete the buildings. The infrastructure for the estates, they had to put money together to get it done. On the promise that they'll get the refund of the monies for the fully finished that they had paid for and for the infrastructure. And it's been over 8 years. None of that happens now. Yes. So the company is legit. The product is there, but you've been scammed.
No intention of
whatsoever. No intention to deliver it or to assist you. None. They just produce really enticing designs with all manner of amenities. You don't get anything, Right. I've also seen a situation where this was a shopping mall this time, not an estate, which was sold to people on the promise that we'll sell it fully finished to you, we'll deliver it fully finished to you. You just move in. And what I found about that shopping was around 2015, and this is 2025. The people that bought it, I'm aware of, haven't taken possession. So that brings me to talking about people now that have experienced scam. It is very painful.
But unfortunately, ignorance is not an excuse. And that's why, when they get scammed, you can only but pity them, but advise that people do the needful in ensuring that it doesn't repeat or happen to them again.
But you won't quite blame the scammed in this situation, because in these experiences now, the title documents were real, the companies were real, and they still got scammed.
Yeah, but people do due diligence on the real estate companies yourself. Check the fact records, how many estates have they built, how many completed structures do they have. These are some of the things you can also do to these real estate companies before you give your hard-earned savings or investments to them. You have to check, see what they've done. Are they just sweet stories and tales, or they actually have credible things to point out to say we've done before. So based on that precedent, come and do more with us. I think that's a fine way to also look at it.
That's true. Very true. So no business for new companies then. Come to think of it, why real estate? Why is a scam so rampant in this sector? You have to be really smart and be very good at it to scam in the banking sector. But when it comes to real estate, it's so easy. Everybody's getting scammed. It's so common. Can you share your thoughts, please?
Well, I think it's very clear. First of all, scammers are attracted to, quick rich schemes, and real estate is one aspect of the economy that I think it's now third in terms of revenue generation and all of that is one major area now. So it involves a lot of money, a lot of finance to deal in. So ordinarily fraudulent, people, scammers are attracted to these areas, where they can hit you once and make quite a lot of money from hitting you fraudulently. I think that's one of the major reasons. Then secondly, unfortunately, unlike the oil and gas sector, unlike the banking sector you mentioned, where there are very strict regulations, procedures and processes guiding, transactions within the space. Unfortunately, the real estate space isn't properly regulated. Yes, we have bodies like the REDAN, that's the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, and other, few bodies, but regulation wise, it's not tight, it's not watertight, and that's why you find anybody waking up tomorrow, sleeps, wakes up, and decides that he wants to start a real estate company and just jumps right into it. Before you can key into the banking sector, there are procedures you must follow. There are guidelines that you must adhere to. Do you know of any guidelines?
No. I'm even just thinking now, how does one become a realtor?
Yeah. You just wake up.
Just feel like open Instagram page, print logo.
Yes, yes. I must commend Lagos State. They have woken up to that issue. They've set up the Lacera to regulate real estate transactions within. Yes. Wow. Mshel Homes is properly registered with Lacera, and we follow all their guidelines to ensure that we give the confidence and that confidence to our subscribers. But you can see for Abuja, for example, there's nobody is regulating anything. Yes, we have AGs, we have the FCTA, but there are so many porous.
They don't govern the activities of the real estate companies.
You can wake up
companies are independent.
Go to the CAC, register a company with the CAC, and voila, you have a real estate company.
Wow.
Yes, and you start receiving money from individuals, and there's nobody to hold you accountable to the money you are receiving from subscribers. So it's rather unfortunate, and that is why there's so much interest in scamming people through the real estate space. Yes.
I also think that one of the reasons it makes it easy to scam people is that people have this dream. There's this dream of owning a land or owning your own home. So it's also emotional for many people. And because of those emotions, they will not really go out to do due diligence. You've earned your first 10 million naira, for instance, and you can take 5 out of it to own your first plot of land. You feel responsible, you feel grown, you feel like I'm doing the right thing. And
yeah, but on the flip side, you make your first 10 million, you are taking a whooping 5 million out of it, to key into your first plot. For you who is making 10 million for the first time, you should actually be very, very intentional about making sure that where you're putting your 5 million, is safe, secure, and credible, like Mshel Homes.
Okay, thank you.
So, Onye, as a sales pro for many years now, have you, in the course of your experience, seen signs that could indicate maybe potential scams over the course of your sales career?
Sure. I've seen so many, but it's not really my place to start calling real estate firms out. So I'll start with this one. You find a company want to buy land, or someone trying to sell land to you. Then you visit the company, want to see other projects they've done 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 1 year ago, projects they put into the market, and there's no infrastructure, there's no value that's been added on the land. No gatehouse, no fencing, yet the prices have doubled or tripled. You ask yourself, what is driving the increase in price? Is there real demand, or just
cooking it up?
Scam?
Yes, yeah.
Also, there are some discounts that are very unreasonable. How can I put out a product for 50 million and then you ask me to give you a 50% discount, and I actually give you, and you believe that that product is real? It doesn't make any sense. It's just me. It doesn't make any sense. You're being stolen from, because there's a costing procedure, there's a pricing procedure before you even get to your profits. The cost of the value that we put on that land is being calculated. You can't get 50% discount and expect that you are safe.
So is it safe to say that that's maybe like a red flag?
It's a red flag. It's a tell sign that there's something off. It's either that company is in desperate need of money. And that's not where you should be investing. Why are they in desperate need of money? They could be failing, going bankrupt, in some trouble or the other.
You just need money.
And they need
at your own expense as a
You're not the savior of the world. Please go somewhere else. Then I know that this season we're all doing promo. That's like the strategy to launch a new product into the market. But Katampe extension is Katampe extension, and it is luxury. It's luxury. Gozape is Gozape. Gozape is luxury. There are some promo prices that are unreasonable. You should know that you're being scammed. I have this experience where a client bought a property from a company in January. And after 4 months, the company is doing another promo on that property. And January was the month it was launched. So it was sold at a promo amount. Now, in May, they're doing 60% discount. It's a scam. There's nothing like 60% discount. How much was it bought for? How much was the profit on it? There's nothing. It is a scam. You're screaming scam. You're screaming something is wrong somewhere. So now in this person's experience, the property that she had bought at promo amount in January, in May, the people that bought it at the 60% off bought it cheaper than half.
That's very sad.
So you can tell there's so many red flags, and this is not it.
In fact, another red flag that over the course of my own career that comes off for me when I see title documents is and sales transactions being brought to my attention is where you see somebody wants to get brings a title document, 20 hectares of land, 30 hectares of land in Busape, and they tell you to pay. Yeah, and they tell you to pay 9 million, or they tell you to pay 10 million. It's going to come out immediately. Don't worry, pay 10 million. So you see, once the value that is being attributed to that transaction is not commensurate with the location, the aesthetics of that location, the value of land in that location, automatically for me as a lawyer, I tell a prospective buyer to, run as fast as his legs can carry him. Once the value that is being proposed to him to acquire that land, there's nothing like cheap. There's nothing like distress.
So the best time for you to tell you that.
Yes, distress sale. When you check it very well, is a potential.
Distress sale from a company.
Yes. It's distress sales. They'll tell you distress sales.
It's individuals are being distracted.
They need to pay for something, they need to pay for ground rent, they really want to just get the money. Once you jump into it based off um the juicy offer, you'll be left to suffer the consequences, unfortunately. Those are some of the red flags that I have also. I feel that once you sense it, once you see it, you should take to your ears.
Okay. I also want to balance it out because there's a question that's ringing in my head.
Okay.
Doesn't that mean that the more expensive the property is, the more genuine?
Well, no, yes. But at least once the value is commensurate with the value of the transaction, how much is being put or pegged to that transaction is commensurate with the value of the land. At least it's a good sign that you can go ahead and conduct more more research, due diligence on that land. At least it's a box that you tick. Once it's unbalanced, you shouldn't even bother yourself wasting resources, continuing the transaction. Just run.
Okay, from your experience, what do you think people should look out for? What should they do before going into any real estate investment?
Well, okay. Very, very direct. I think the first thing that you must do, anybody that wants to sell land to you, the land should have a location. So first thing you should do, physical inspection of the land. Whoever is being touted as the land they want to sell to you, go there, see the place. I gave an example earlier of where after a transaction was concluded, that was when the buyer was going to the site for the first time and he met actual people fighting over the land he just acquired. So I think the first thing to do before, yes, so I think the first thing to do is to first of all go to that site, have a physical inspection of that site, the surroundings, the people around there. You can ask questions, just to make sure that the people who are selling this land to you are recognized owners of that land. And then you proceed to asking for the title documents of that land. Get physical copies. Go through it. Deeds of assignment, contracts of sale, power of attorney, all kinds of documents showing a nexus between the title document and whoever is selling to you. Have a hold of those documents. Go through them. Inspect the purpose, make sure the purpose on the title document is in line with what you are, acquiring the land for. There are some title documents that are strictly for commercial purposes. Some are for residential. Some are mixed use. Some are mass housing. So you have to make sure it aligns with what you want to, use it for. And then you take that document, in conjunction with the seller to the relevant regulatory agency. We have in Abuja, we have AGs, take it there, you show them documents, they authenticate it for you, they give you a search report telling you whether the land is free from encumbrances, whether there's a dispute on that land that has been registered, whether there's a caveat, whether there's a court case on that land that you're about to spend your money on. Now let's assume you pass through that stage and the land is deemed credible. You also have to confirm from the development authority of the state you're acquiring the land for. In Lagos, there's what they call government acquisition land. Maybe the government has mapped out a particular area where it intends to do maybe a railway station or some other project. Yes, it had allocated it to somebody before, but by virtue of the Land Use Act, the governor or the minister in Abuja has the right to take back, land that it has allocated for, but he must give you adequate compensation for doing so. So in a situation whereby somebody is selling land to you, but you are not aware, like in Lagos, that the government has taken that land back and you've expended money, it becomes a problem. So yes, you must go to the development authority, confirm that yes, that area of land is registered under the system, and the purpose which the land has been told to you it's going to go for is still that same purpose. You go to development control today, they tell you the number of families that can be on that parcel of land based on the soil density of the place. So you can be thinking of building an hotel in a place and they tell you that that area can only house maybe 5 families. Then you know that even though
And
the title document is okay, the purpose within which you want to use it for may not align. So you have to go to the Development Control Authority, confirm that the land is okay. If the seller has already obtained the building plan approval, ensure it's legitimate, and get a report to that effect before you take your hard-earned money and invest. So I think once you follow that line, at least you can beat your chest and say that yes, you have done some level of due diligence, and you can then probably proceed to transact with that real estate company. And yes, there was one other thing you mentioned, which I think is also very important. Checking the track record of the real estate company you are buying from. Like Mshel Homes, they have over 44 estates, that are within our portfolio. You go through the estates portfolio, check completed projects, um, uh, properties that have been fully handed over to subscribers. When you see a company that has projects but has not delivered any, even though they have legitimate title documents, might not be a good indication for you to proceed with them if there's no precedent or any evidence showing that some of the promises they give to their subscribers, then they are meeting up with them. So I think once you do that, you should be good to go.
thank you so much, Barrister Shay. You've listened. I hope you found it insightful and you've learned the red flags and the telltales that will show you when there's a possible scam in investment you're interested in. I hope you've learned the diligence you have to carry out before you invest into any real estate opportunity that you find. That's it on this episode of the Spotlight Show. If you have any question, please drop it in the comments section. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.